any of you.
How old was the person that was shot?
I believe that he was born in 1988.
And when you say that a DOC officer called, are you talking about a parole officer and this person was on parole and he was being supervised that way? Is that what you're referring to?
He was being supervised by the Department of Corrections. Yes.
Can you tell us which agency was it, Spokane Police, that engaged the suspect, shot the suspect?
Yes, it was the Spokane Police Department.
And do you know how many officers fired their weapons?
Two. We believe two.
Do you know how many times the person was shot?
I know that there were approximately 4 to 5 rounds that were fired.
Is that between the two officers?
Correct. Combined.
Were the people in the nearby buildings evacuated, or how did that process work?
So this situation was very fluid. It happened very quickly. And so when officers arrived in the area, they immediately went to the threat, the man with the knife, and they attempted less lethal means to bring him under control. There was no time to do evacuations in the area.
So when you say that they tried to taser him, at this point when he was being tasered, was he coming at the officers with the knife, or was he holding it against somebody else? I mean, what was the situation there?
The investigation that the Sheriff's Office is lead on will have some of those details in the future. I don't have that information right now.
How many officers were involved in this, and are they now on leave?
So there were 3 officers that attempted less lethal. There were 2 officers that used lethal force, and there were other officers that assisted in providing medical assistance, and then obviously after the shooting, other officers came into the area to assist with the scene.
So the officers that did use the lethal force, are they on leave?
They will be, yes.
And then how will that affect the department and services, especially with other shootings in the past?
Right. So any officers that are placed on leave, if we reach minimum staffing for any of our patrol teams, we will call in additional resources and make sure that we ensure a minimum level of staffing, regardless of this situation.
Is that happening now, that you have to do that?
Right now, no. We haven't placed anybody on leave yet. That will be forthcoming.
Does the amount of police shootings just in the last 2 weeks shock you at all? I mean, it seems like just last year we had 5 total in the year, and now we're seeing 4 in the last 2 weeks. I mean, what is that like for the department?
It's very unusual. It concerns me the level of violence that we're seeing in the community, and the level of violence that's being directed towards our officers. So I'm certainly concerned about the safety of our officers, the safety of the members of the community.
You mentioned that tasers were deployed as less lethal force. Was mace or pepper spray used at any point?
I don't have that information, but not to my knowledge.
Is the use of pepper spray or mace a standard tactic in the Spokane Police Department?
Our officers are equipped with pepper spray. Yes.
Are they trained to use it?
Yes.
You said going into surgery. Do you have any idea on his current condition aside from surgery?
I haven't heard a medical condition that was provided. He was stabilized and sent to surgery, but I haven't received an update probably in about 90 minutes. So.
And just confirming, no officers were injured in this incident, correct?
Correct.
Do you know how much longer this area is going to be shut down for? Exact estimate?
I don't know. The sheriff's office is in charge of the scene here, and they'll keep this scene locked down as long as they need to be able to record and gather all the evidence that they need.
Wait, just to be clear, you can't say if the suspect came at officers with a knife. You can only say that he had a knife and was threatening people.
Yeah, I don't have any information. The investigation that the sheriff's office is lead on, they will have additional details. I just have some preliminary information from a witness at this point.
Okay, that's good.
If we suspect called his parole officer saying that he was suicidal. Was there any attempt to roll out mental health services in addition to the police in the response?
Yes, and so, like I said before, this situation was fluid. The individual displayed, not only had a knife, but he displayed a knife. And when he was communicating with his DOC officer, he was also walking through downtown Spokane. And there, as you can see, much like right now, there are people on the sidewalks, there's people in the shops. And so our immediate response is to get control of that individual and to make sure that he isn't a threat to anyone else.
So I guess I don't really know if you can answer my question. Were mental health resources rolled out in addition to this response, or had they not shown up yet, or were they not even contacted?
So the BHU, the Behavioral Health Unit, that partners with the Spokane Police Department, is out of the downtown precinct, and so this is the type of call that they would have been en route to. I do not have information as to whether they were en route or on scene at the time of this incident.